Okay.
First of all, we must check up the middle section. Every drawings has three views. View by the name the hull. This one, view the hull. The second one is broadside. And the third one is waterlines. Or view on the deck. Дай мне эту штуку. Давай. Water lines here are these curved lines. On this view, these water lines of the left board, another board.
Вот смотрите, уже искажения видны даже вот небольшие при этом измерении.
Here, the same lines are marked with these numbers. You see the same number. Number 4, number 4. Number 6, number 6. On the one view, this line is curved. On this view, this line is not curved. It is straight.
And why has he chosen number 9 to
This is the main water line.
number 9?
We must check up, first of all, middle section, number 9 water line.
Девятую проверяем. Вот, да?
And
Вот,
we must check up number 9 at first.
вот смотрите, получается как. Вот даже на одном чертеже, вот я начинаю проверять, я пользуюсь вот бумагой, потому что линейка, погрешность измерений происходит
It is
постоянно.
more
Да?
better to use the piece of paper, not this instrument, because it is not necessary to take in your mind that
Смотрите, видите?
meaning.
On this, Ivan.
А?
It is a mark.
Точка, вот.
Yeah.
Make a mark
There's a small
with a
difference.
pencil.
Small difference.
Я вот снимал вот здесь ее, вот она точно здесь.
Exactly.
So what he's done,
this
he's got a
mark.
piece of paper
Yeah.
from the middle
Huh?
and marked
Так?
exactly that mark there,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
corresponds to the edge of the ship. So it's placed on the middle, the piece of paper is placed on the middle, and he's marked with a piece of paper flat where,
Вот,
where the edge is
вот,
there with that pencil mark.
Вот я ставлю ее на другую
And then
сторону.
he's checking the symmetry on both sides at water level 9.
Not
And you can see here,
Symmetry.
it's slightly out by about a millimetre.
Half a
Can you
millimeter.
zoom in on that, Ivan, and get that? Just see how it's half a millimetre.
And the
That's a
mistake,
problem. That's a
the
mistake.
mistake must be here. Pay attention. It is not the same. Maybe because one side, right side, is made with rabbit and another without rabbit.
Yeah.
Вот. А теперь мы проверим самое главное сведение вот с этим чертежом. Вот,
Then we must check up the same mark on the paper
вот
with
middle,
this view.
да? Вот девятая горизонталь.
Number nine.
Вот она,
Number
девятая,
nine.
девятая. Вот можно мы ее сравнить.
Ah, yeah.
Imagine
Вы видите?
1 millimeter. 1 millimeter and a half is a mistake.
А? Вот сведение, да, чертежей.
It is a mistake of Xerox machine, or maybe
И эти ошибки будут везде. Вот если мы сейчас вот начнем проверять, да, они будут
these
везде.
mistakes will be on every line, and you must imagine in future that the mistake will follow you all the building construction time.
Yeah. In other words, that mistake will propagate through the entire construction, and you're going to get a ship that just doesn't fit together towards the end, I imagine, or has big holes in it. So we need to rectify the issue in the plans immediately. And we have to do this with 9, then 8, then 7, then 6,
Yes,
then 5.
yes.
Yeah.
Поэтому вот я делаю свои, проверяю, свожу всегда вот. Необходимо свести вот эти
Don't
три
regret
чертежа.
about the lost time. When you check up the plans, you will correct them. But if you will not correct them immediately, having spent a lot of time, a waste of time, in future your model will be curved, will be not corrected, will be bad. That's why spend some days for checking up the drawings.
Yeah.
Then you will not have problems. Even the plans of Jean Baudrillard has a mistakes.
Тем более, скажите,
So Ivan, do you want to just come here and just film this?
если...
See, I've put the piece of paper, the edge is on the middle, which is the dashed line. We've drawn a mark on the edge of the ship on that side. And then when I turn this around,
Если надо менять,
so I can check the symmetry on the other side, you can see it falls short a bit. And on this one, it falls well short. You can see that's about 1 millimeter. That's where the edge actually is. There's 1 millimeter space there.
самое важное, конечно, вот эти не ошибки на боковом, на поперечном сечении, на шпангоутах. Самые главные ошибки это...
This one.
Я всегда отталкиваюсь от него, даже когда делаешь потом шпангоуты дополнительные.
When you are thinking about the correcting all three plans into one, correcting one, first of all, you must take in your mind that this drawing is the beginning of your checking up.
Yeah.
Dr. Mike take this drawing, he consider that this drawing is correct, and only then he don't believe for another two drawings, he believed only for this drawing,
and
then he check up another two one.
Yeah.
Да.
So from this drawing, he recreates the other ones.
He believes only in this drawing.
Okay.
He considers that another two are mistaken, and only then he check up these two, and after controlling these two drawings, he makes his own plan instead of previous one.
Да, то есть без этого
This one I've done. This one's probably the one you want to get. With the numbers at the bottom.
Я сказал, что ты считаешь, что этот чертеж абсолютно верен,
Нет, ну нет, я не считаю его.
а остальные ошибочны.
Ну надо
Ты берешь
за
его
что-то
за основу.
отталкиваться за основу, да, безусловно, да. Что он главный, потому что приходится его, да, сводить.
So this one we're looking at now is the correct version. This is the...
It's a plan that Dr. Michael himself drew. Each point, he said, has been checked 3 times. So each one of these points. And this will supersede the plans that he's bought because, as we showed earlier, they're not accurate.
Да.
Ребятки принесли кино про корабль «Принц».
And it looks like he assumes that this one is the correct one, and then from that recreates the plans. So assumes this particular shear plan is correct, and the other 2 hull plans aren't correct. Okay, cut it. You should be ready. So this side of
Many
the
years
plans
ago,
is
the paper
below the
was
waterline.
very expensive. That's why the first attempts to make the plans were made according with economy of paper.
These, this side of the plans is below the waterline, and this side of the plans is above the waterline. The reason they've done that is to save on paper, so you can get both above and below the waterline on one particular sheet of paper.
Да, накладывать, это неудобно работать с чертежом, то есть проще, так сказать, сделать 2 части. Вот.
Okay.
When Dr. Mike has corrected 2 views, broadside and waterlines, he believes to both plans, and only then he begins to correct the 3rd view. If you will take that circle, the special device.
Я вместо циркуля, вот пользуюсь, циркуль может давать ошибки, да, у меня шаблонами для этого.
Хорошо, дай пока циркуль, так чтобы понятнее было. Мы потом объясним. Usually everyone check up the correct position of frames with this device. I don't know how in English. Circle in Russian. With the help of circle, it is possible to check up this
Здесь-то с этим вы не придете. Это высоты. Здесь отсюда берутся только высоты.
With this plan. Waterline here and waterline there must have the common point.
Yeah.
With the same of this device, or with the help of this, marks on the paper. Dr. Mike corrects every point on 3 parts of theoretical drawing: hull, waterlines and broadside.
Сейчас я для примера покажу. Сейчас
Возвращаешься, да?
Нет, сейчас я возьму 50-й, допустим, 9.
For example,
50-й
the frame number 50.
Давай. 50-й шпангоут. Вот.
The frame number 50.
Они размечены. Вот видите, вот я ставлю 50-й шпангоут. Вот. И перенесены все сюда. Видите?
The points and water lines are marked on this piece of paper.
Да. Вот я перенес отсюда, взял. То есть я вот
He
пользуюсь теперь
transmitted.
как шаблоном.
It is the mold. Schablon. It is a mold. Yes?
Yeah, mold.
Now it is official mold for correcting another view, the third one.
Okay. So he creates a mold for each of these. For each of these.
Oh.
And only then Dr. Mike used this mold
Сейчас я покажу. Вот.
for creating one frame, number 50.
Да?
You see? 50. And all the marks made.
Нет, выставьте просто ровно. Вот.
Oh, you see? This mark and this mark are the same.
Вот.
It is waterlined. And then, if we measure,
Нет, я переношу сюда горизонтали. Смотрите, видите, это разметки бархолтов. Вот эти вот главные точки. Это мы высоты берем же отсюда.
ладно, дальше.
Да? Вот. Мы взяли отсюда высоты. А теперь, на самом деле, вот мы с этого чертежа, вот он, 50-й, да, вот сейчас вот вы покажете.
Number
то, что-
50
Сейчас я возьму 50-й.
on the underwater part of waterlines is here. 50.
Где он этот шаблон?
Листочек бумажки.
50-й. На другой стороне.
On
Видите,
the other
50-й.
side of this, the same piece of paper,
Видите?
we correct, we check up the water lines and mark here.
So it's
all-
basically a second mold.
Да? Вот. И после этого я откладываю вот four, да?
Number 4.
Отложил, точку построил.
Imagine that this line is absent, that it is a clean list of paper.
Yeah, so that's not there. Yeah.
And then we create the first point,
Да.
then we rise up
Третье.
number
Вот
3,
идет.
another point,
Да, да. И так все точки
and
переносятся.
all the points are officially fixed on the absolutely clean list of paper.
Yeah.
And then
Вот.
we connect these lines
Да.
with the curved lines, and it is our frame. Браво!
Это дает точность, ну, максимальную, которую можно.
Attentively. This instrument and this instrument. What is better? Dr. Mike considers as a list of paper, this mold is more better. Because sometimes, oh, sorry,
Yeah.
oh, it is necessary to repeat. And
По линейке трудно выставлять одинаково,
In
когда
future.
чуть-чуть надо. Вот.
when you must correct the same point in another conditions, you must repeat the same operations. But if you
Yeah.
keep in the special place this mold,
Yeah.
it is eternity,
Yeah. You have it forever.
and you can repeat your measurements having corrected points many times. It is official paper, don't lose it.
Yeah.
И вот они вот, они сделаны на все
For each frame.
шпангоуты сделаны.
For
видите?
each frame.
For each frame, Dr. Mike has the same papers with all
Two
measured.
sides.
И на другой
From two
стороне
sides.
разметка по-другому идет. Вот, чертежи.
It is the main Russian secret in making the model. No one all over the world
KGB information.
never used this before.
Это недорого, но надежно. Вот.
It is not expensive, but it is
Very reliable.
safety.
Very, very reliable.
Yes.
Да, вот. У меня есть фотографии на компьютере, где это, если хотите.
Dr. Mike has a photographs on the computer.
Значит, на самом деле, вот после этого, после того, как они готовы, да, покажите.
All the numbers are here.
Да, объясните еще вот что я сначала, прежде чем рисовать шпангоуты, да,
Before the making
я
pictures of frames,
делаю
paper,
вот
this
эту
paper.
рыба, вот эту,
Dr. Mike
на
makes
которой я их рисую, да,
this mold.
я ее сканирую и печатаю на принтере. Это сделано для того, чтобы они были абсолютно одинаковые, потому что чтобы не было ошибок при черчении. Понимаете?
He makes the copy of this mold at the same place, at the same printing machine, in order not to have the repeating of mistakes in future.
Вот. И вот на них, видите, даже здесь компьютером разрешено нанесены,
Например, 64 шпангоута, ты делаешь 64 листа.
64 листа, и на них рисую.
For example, your model has 46 frames. You must prepare 46 molds on the same time, on the same machine, on the same voltage in this net.
Yeah.
And only then you will not have the mistakes even when you repeat this operation 64 times.
Yep.
If you will check up all these 64 papers, they will be absolutely the same.
Yep. Okay. And then from this paper you create this, or is this different?
Да, и вот идет работа, да, вот.
This is for the frames. Oh, this is for
Yes,
the frames.
it is for the frames.
Да.
Not for this. Not for this.
Да, вот. И вот они, можно посмотреть на любом примере, что это они, вот они же и есть. Видите, просто нанесена, да? Вот. Пак, да? Вот.
It is the first stage.
Да,
It is the last stage.
да, вот.
The empty place,
Да.
the filled place.
And in between this
Yes,
In
and
between
between
is-
these two
is putting this down and marking.
Да,
Yes.
да.
And marking.
Да. Причем вот этот образец, я его сохраняю даже. Мало ли что с компьютером случится, чтобы отсканировать можно было.
even if his computer will be suppressed by the virus, all these papers
Will still be
has
available.
they will survive in this special place.
Folder.
Folder.
Вот. Потому что ведь проблема работы с чертежом – это проблема точности измерений. И вот это наука, метрология. Вот.
This science
Да.
calls metrology.
Oh, okay.
Да.
Every beginner, every shipwright, and even experienced model maker must learn by heart this metrology science.
Yeah.
If he is busy with only thinking about how to earn money, how to more rapidly prepare the model and to sell it, it is not professional. He will repeat one mistake after another, and his model will be curved in every dimension.
Yeah.
And the price for this model will be not so high.
Yeah. Yep.
And he will never be estimated by another professional model makers.
Так, потом, значит, вы сказали, что после того, как чертеж готов, вот сам, да,
After the plan is ready,
да, я его сканирую, да, сканер,
Dr. Mike used a scanner.
Scanner.
да, вот, и этот остается, а я
The image is then scanned.
печатаю копии, которые уже вырезаю, да, вот о чем речь.
He make a scan for memory, and the original one
Оригинал
with the
остается,
help of scissors is prepared into the mold.
And it's cut.
Yes. Then this mold is used just on the wood plate for prepare the real frame.
Это для того, чтобы не переносить через кальку там или никак это, а чтобы по реальному шаблону можно было уже перенести на дерево, да, вот.
You must use this surface, this edge of this paper, with the help of very thin
Да. Сейчас я
pencil or fountain pen.
Единица, вот.
Okay.
35.
У тебя не осталось каких-нибудь, Миша, деревяшек, чтобы показать?
Хочу шпангоут.
Just so we know as reference
Я
what we're
честно-
looking at.
Вот. Вот вместе с чертежом он нарисован. рядом.
Together with the plans. The wood together with the plans at the same place.
Вот так вот я могу показать.
Ни хрена себе.
Чего?
This is pointing to the plans, not me. This is the plan that he produces based on using this paper here and measuring the points as we've discussed. And then he cuts along there with scissors very, very carefully and produces the actual shape of the frame, which is then placed onto wood, marked with a pencil or a fountain pen, they said, and then cut. I'm going to get more information about how they do that shortly.
20 millimeters.
Да.
Then the thickness of material, for example, is the thickness of the wood which sells in the shop.
Yep. Yep.
That's why, if it is 22 millimeters, he make a plans for 22. If it is 30, he make the distance between frames
So the
30.
distance between the frames
Yes.
is equal to the thickness of the wood.
It depends
that's
upon the quality and dimensions of the material which he buy in the special shop for carpenters.
Okay.
Then he
Переносим.
makes a mold here and then duplicate it with the help of saw, and you have a left board and starboard.
И
Imagine.
они зеркальные
And
получаются.
like a mirror, they are absolutely the same. Left and starboard and larboard.
Yeah.
He divides it twice, and the thickness becomes not 22 but 11.
11.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Understand?
So, yeah.
And you has economy of time 50% because you are making only one operation for making the mold, and only and you have the economy of time when you duplicate the thickness of material and make two halves,
2 halves. yeah.
left and
So this is one piece of wood thick.
yes,
He then cuts the shape
yes,
and then cuts this way
yes,
to separate the wood.
yes,
How? This is how does he cut this way?
yes.
But how? How?
Как разрезать имеется в виду?
To cut.
А?
Разрезать cut.
Ну.
Я им уже объясняю, как ты делаешь левую и правую сторону.
Ну, я
разрезает
понимаю,
толщину.
да. Можно это делать, вы скажите так, что можно это делать из двух заготовок просто фиксированных временно,
Sometimes
лагерем или клеем.
You can use
Да.
two plates of wood.
Two separate plates
Fix it.
with glue.
Fix it momentary for
Yes.
5 minutes. Then you are making a drawing on the surface of one of them.
Yeah.
Then cut.
Зубочистками можно. Вот
Nailed.
Make a, yes, nailed
Nailed.
together.
Okay.
Then make a cutting with a special device. Then fixing again, extracting these nails, and you have duplicate it
Okay, I'll
without
explain
cutting in another.
So we get two separate pieces of wood. We join them together with. They're using toothpicks as nails so that they're tightly fixed together and they don't slide. Then what they do is trace the plan onto this plate of wood. Now obviously I'm using wood that's way too small, but they're talking about a piece of wood that size. They trace that onto the wood, they cut it, they remove the toothpicks and open it up, and they've got two perfectly symmetrical ribs for the ship. Actually,
I'll just take this.
Да.
So, if this is a piece of wood,
Да.
this is frame.
Yes, yes.
Very carefully draw the shape of the frame, and then cut.
Yes, yes. Yep.
Then you'll open up the two pieces of wood. And remember this is actually two pieces of wood that have been joined with the nails that I just mentioned so they don't slide.
Раскрой, да, идет. Вот я просто нарисую тогда всю эту историю. Вот я размечаю, да, его.
He makes the copy
Да?
with the pencil.
Вот здесь я даю припуск. Плюс
Here he give
3 сантиметра где-то.
additional material,
Дополнительный.
Yeah.
Да? Вот.
not cut.
Да, вот. Вот я сделал, да, разметил, допустим, его вот, выставил линию.
The
так,
points are
вот.
fixed.
Внутреннюю я даю с припуском, вот с
Inside
таким,
he
да,
makes
вот,
plus of thickness.
да.
Of
вот.
course, it is necessary because in future you must make a molds.
Потом следующий, да,
Marking.
следующий шпангоут размечается. Это экономично можно
On the
разместить.
same plate of material,
Да.
he makes the smaller frame.
Yeah.
For example, this
The
one is
inside edge.
yes,
Inside
yes,
edge.
and you will have economy of material, and only this will be trash. only this material
Да.
will be for making the barbecue.
Потом,
And
да.
70%
all
of
this material
materials
barbecue.
are going for the frames. It is not barbecue, this barbecue. This one is the frame number
Oh, next frame.
Number
Next frame.
7,
Ah.
number 6,
Да.
and it is barbecue.
Yeah.
Barbecue, number
Shut-
5, and so on the same plate.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got one plate. Trace the outside edge of the frame as he did. Then he moves this around. Traces it again. He's going to cut that frame out. And then he's going to, that could be frame number 7, and he's going to repeat the process with frame number 6, just so he gets economy of wood and he's not using a double plate of wood for each frame.
Вот они, разметка на доске уже сделана, видите? Вот. Вот. It's line, да? Вот.
The different numbers of frames are on the same paper.
Yeah.
Вот они, вот можно так посмотреть еще. Вот, видите? Вот они на доске размечены.
Антонио, what we'll do
It
is
is a big plate of pine,
Very.
professional made in the factory.
Мы покажем эту доску.
Many
Вот они,
Russians are making their own furniture. For example, this is made from his own hands. All this furniture is made from the special material which is for sale on the special shops.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is from the wood, sometimes it is from the pressed remains of the
Pocket.
wood. This is a pocket
Пакет.
which he used having
This is for the frames of Rivoli.
for the frames, yes.
That's pine, as you can see.
Но для Риволи это толстая, скажите, мы используем 18 миллиметров в основном. Это более толстая.
It is not for Rivoli, it is for additional internal departments.
Internal
For
features.
Rivoli he used 18 millimeters thickness
Они
plate.
разные
18
толщины.
millimeter thickness plank for the
And
frames of the
on
Rivoli.
the plans,
Да, он плэнс.
on the plans,
Да.
his thickness of the frames is 18 millimeters. 18, 36, 72 and so on.
You can see distance 18. Okay.
То есть разметка идет в зависимости от толщины материала. Скажите, Александр Алексеевич, даже чертеж при
The plans
чертеже.
are preparing only according with the thickness of material which one can buy in the shop.
Okay. And then after, cut this way.
Да.
Sometimes,
This way.
if it is not thick, it is not necessary to.
So if in the shop I can buy 10 millimeter pine, then this will be 20 millimeter, correct? If thickness of wood is 10 millimeters, this is 20 because I will join two 10 millimeters with nails.
You understood.
Is this correct? Okay. Yeah.
But more better to use the material which is not very thick.
Yeah.
20, for example, is good. If you have only 40 in the shop, I cannot believe that it is possible that you have only one kind. It
We will
will
have
be necessary to divide it. It is additional operation. Very expensive and very big loss of time.
Yeah.
That's why find 20 millimeters and put one onto another.
So 40 altogether.
Yes, altogether 40. And divide it with the help of a special device, lobzik. I don't know.
Вот.
Oh,
Scroll. Yeah. The Proxon scroll saw is used to actually cut the shape of the
and then only extract the nails.
from this piece of paper that we're talking about. So
Вы
scroll
скажите, что
sword
Проксон уверенно
along the
берет до
edge.
40 миллиметров. Вот.
Then the two pieces of wood are separated. The nails are removed that we discussed, and you've got two perfectly symmetrical frames on each side, starboard and port of the ship. Makes sense. We'll receive
Use it when
JPEGs, we can edit
explanation
it.
will be on the memory.
Значит, после этого, вот смотрите, уцелел стапель.
Tonight when I go home I'll study all this information and write down more. So what is this? This is, as I've put it, it's the dockyard of the River Lee, and you can see all the lines on it corresponding to the plans.
The thickness of every frame is 18
And
millimeters.
if you just zoom up here, the distance between the lines, which represent the
Look at
flames,
the screen.
is 18 millimeters.
Look at the screen.
Доска, да? Вот. Несущая, вот это несущая доска. Вы объясните так, что это не обязательно у всех моделей. Учитывая размеры этой модели, я боялся за прочность корпуса.
It is look like the kill zone.
Да.
Inside the Rivoli model,
Да.
there is a strong additional kill zone. It is necessary because the model is great, and in future some internal forces can curve the model. That's why it is necessary to use the additional kill zone like this.
So the keel zone is added to give the
Да.
keel
Вот
extra strength.
видите, нарезанные, да, они стоят шпангоуты.
Через сколько шпангоутов у тебя стоял
Вот
мощный?
смотрите, я покажу мощные. Вот, сейчас будет фотография,
Каждый
я
шестой
покажу.
или каждый какой?
У меня через 5, по-моему, их. Сейчас я покажу.
Every fifth
Сейчас.
frame inside is corresponding with this
Сейчас будет
additional
видно.
kill zone, and they have the
Вот они
strength.
стоят. Вот. О,
So every fifth keel is attached.
Every
attached.
fifth frame
Yeah,
is attached
every
and
fifth
fixed
frame,
to this
sorry.
additional kill zone, artificial kill zone, and they have a skeleton which is very strong by himself. And then you input inside, you
Да.
put inside additional four.
да. Вот весь он лежит, да, на самом деле. Они съемные, их можно снимать, да, так сказать.
Это не обязательно.
Не обязательно. Вот он весь, да. Смотрите, вот я начинаю вставлять
And
небольшие.
between these official
Five.
station frames, he put inside
Вот более тонкие, вот видите, они лежат.
more thin
Да.
frames. It is 40 millimeters, it is 20 millimeters, for example.
Okay.
Between these between this
Fifth frame.
station,
4, 5 между ними.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside.
You can see five
Да.
frames will go between those two frames that are connected to that keelson that gives it extra strength.
И вот эти маленькие, они не фиксируются к кильсону на самом деле, да?
And only
Да.
1, 5, 10, 15, only they are fixed to the kill
To the
zone.
keelson, yeah.
Да.
Another thin one are not fixed to the kill zone.
I'm not, okay.
Because they are thin and they have no the connection with it.
Вот. А вот сейчас я покажу
Here's
дальше.
another one.
Вот сборка идет, да? Вот из них. Сейчас. Вот.
Well, you see the construction beginning from the stem.
Вы только объясните, что эта сборка, она
Beginning from the stem, the front of the
это
It is
должно быть-
temporary building.
это-
temporary.
Там нету
Temporary.
клея, да? Там нету
No
ничего.
glue,
No glue.
No glue.
No glue at all.
only
Okay.
fixation on the upper side with a special wooden shifts, wooden nails.
Вот, да, вот идет сборка. Вот я показываю.
Construction.
Это вот вставлено для того, чтобы он не ушел вниз, для того, чтобы контролировать постоянно дистанцию. Вы объясните?
Temporary controlled planks
Да.
for control distance between the dockyard and the extreme brace of the top timbers.
Они вклеены, вот эти деревяшечки вклеены в паз.
They
Вот.
are glued
Да.
onto the hole of the upper part of the top timbers temporarily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Нет, но мы же давали припуск, мы же говорили,
Remember,
что они сделали с припуском.
They made additional 3 centimeters.
Да,
Remember?
да.
Yes,
да.
yes,
Вот.
I remember that.
Да.
So in other words, that frame is coming out by an extra 3 centimeters because you remember on the plans we didn't cut it at the top. We gave it 3 centimeters extra, and those poles are temporarily glued the top of that extra length, and they come down and meet that white
И
board,
мы
that
тогда уверены,
dockyard
что
that
мы
we
не
discussed.
провалимся, не изменим
earlier.
дистанцию, да, эту вот.
Yes, and we are sure that occasionally we cannot damage every frame and press on them occasionally, and they will fall down.
Да. Вот. Вот тут такая фотография, да, я сейчас покажу просто. Вот. Это еще раз. Вот полностью собранный, да, вот он, видите?
You see, it is a scale.
Yeah.
Scale.
Yeah. Yeah, not smooth.
Not
вот.
smooth.
Да? Скажите, что я запишу на диск, вам дам, вы вечером можете посмотреть это все.
He will give you today the copy, and in your hotel you will check
I'll
out.
study.
Да,
I'll study.
спокойно можете посмотреть будет. Вот, дальше вот собранный, да? Вот он лежит.
No air distance between each.
So the frames are tied against each other.
Yes.
There are no spaces between the frames.
Вот,
And you can
посмотрите,
see
вот
some of the-
часть вынута, да, просто.
The part of
показано.
frames are extracted.
Да.
It is example
Это
that they are
показано,
not
что
glued.
они не склеены.
Yeah,
Для
so
этого
nothing
я
is
показал.
glued at this stage.
Yes.
Да.
Nothing is glued.
Да. Вот. А вот теперь обратите внимание,
And now pay attention.
прошла обработка, мы сняли ступеньки, видите, отшлифованы.
The steps are disappeared. Now everything
Yeah.
is smooth.
Yeah.
After
Сняли
the
ступеньки.
development
Да.
with the help of special proxen machines and hand instruments.
So in other words, the frames were jagged because he hadn't sandpapered anything. He'd only use a scroll saw to cut them out, and now they're smooth. And he's achieved that
Вот
with
всё,
the
ровненько
proxon
уже.
machines and hand tools. Sandpaper,
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 Chisels.
and chisels.
and special
Yeah.
handmade devices.
Стамеска.
Долото, стамеска,
Да.
what is it?
Chisel.
Да.
Chisel.
Да, paper. Да.
Sandpaper.
And very, very coarse sandpaper. That's like a number 30 or something, I think.
It is necessary to glue one on the
On the cork.
yes, and make this operation too.
Okay.
In the places where not
The frames are.
yes, where minus surface.
Скажите, мы называем это сухариками, да? Вот это, вот.
In Russian,
Да.
this device calls сухарик.
Сухарик.
Сухарик. We cannot.
Сушеный хлеб.
It is not necessary to translate it into English. This word must be like the word Sputnik,
Which
in your
stays
memory.
Russian.
It must be Russian.
Sukhanik?
Sukharik.
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 Yes.
We're not allowed to
The
translate
surface
that.
of Sukharik must be plate, must be round.
Different shapes.
Да, да,
Different.
я- И размеры шкурок нужны разные. От такой, от грубой, да?
The
до
number
более, так сказать, да.
Sandpaper must be different, beginning from
Yeah.
very
Coarse.
little
Coarse
to
to
very
smooth. To smooth.
huge.
Вы скажите, что при обработке контрольной точкой служит край шпангоута. Нам только убрать ступеньки надо. После этого все, да?
During the development of the surface, the controlled front position is the meaning one. You must disappear, you must escape only from additional back surface of the mount of the frame.
Sorry, so
Еще раз.
we're just going to retranslate that.
This surface
Да.
is back side, and
Yeah.
the thickness is necessary to escape from.
Yeah.
And the control one is this. It is not necessary to contact this surface with the help of Sukharik.
Okay.
You must use for Sukharik only the front part of the frames if you are working in the before the middle section.
Okay. So if you work, basically what I think he's saying is the frame has a particular depth, which I think was 18 millimeters, which is 18 millimeters. And he's saying the back edge of the frame should not be touched because that corresponds to the plans exactly. So all he's doing is sandpapering, using that machine to remove wood from the front edge of each particular frame because the back edge must remain untouched. And then it will match the frame in front of it. Again, with the next frame, the back edge is not touched. Wood is removed from the front until it perfectly matches the next frame, and so on, so you get a smooth finish. The idea is the back edge of the frame should never be sanded at all because that will correspond exactly to the size when we cut it from this.
The advantage of this method is that you need now to check up later with the help of mold the correcting of this operation, because you have the correct form of
Yeah.
every frame.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does not necessary to correct it twice. When you are working with the back side of the hull after the middle section, between middle and the stern, the control place are the same, but not front position, but the back position is correct, because the molding is a low down.
Какую сторону снимать будем?
Understand? Or I repeat?
Please repeat.
Иди
Yeah.
сюда. Смотри.
Покажите мне.
Here. Imagine that it is the thickness of material. This is
Okay. yeah.
correct.
So that's a thickness. Of
Next
material.
one is here, and you must escape from this one.
Yeah. Yeah. So if this is a
The
thickness
back
of-
side,
Yeah.
the correct one is this.
Ah. Yeah.
And,
yeah.
You must escape from this.
Yeah. So yeah, I understand.
Here you have escape from this additional material, and there the control point on the other place. Imagine
Yeah.
you must escape not from this but from this point.
Yeah. So if this is the thickness of a frame,
Sorry, whoa. Sorry.
То есть способ на
Yeah,
самом
got
деле,
this
да,
side, this one.
является в общем-то оригинальным. Это можно встретить в литературе, да, и вот в журналах.
Okay, so if this is the thickness of a frame here, you'll see that this edge is actually the correct edge because it corresponds to the edge of the ship. So what you've got to do is remove this wood from here.
For
which-
barbecue.
For barbecue. They like their shazliks here. And so on. So if the next frame is that thick, then this edge is the correct edge and you're removing this section of wood and so on. At the rear of the ship, the same deal. If that's the thickness of a frame, this is the correct value and you're sort of removing that section of wood there.
For barbecue.
And so on and so on.
And so on and so on. This method very accurate, is very accurate.
But Alex, what happens, now this, we do not remove wood in straight line.
Yes, of course.
We're removing curved.
Yes, of course.
So here, wood must be removed.
You must
like
check up.
this. Do you
You
agree?
must check up this line with the help of a long, thin piece of wood. Put it. There is no waves inside. Must be no waves.
Объясните так, что можно, и кто, я этим не пользуюсь, мне это не нужно, но если вы хотите, вот эту сторону, которая срезаться,
Side, the control side of the frame, you can paint with red. And when it will disappear after the operation,
Yeah.
after operation with Suharik,
No good.
it is the last point
Okay.
which will be the end
Bring the
position.
camera in. What they're saying here is that you can paint this with some red paint and sand it accordingly, and when the red paint is disappearing from the back edge of the frame, you know you've got to stop sanding, because the point is the back edge of the frame should not be sanded at all, and the red paint is a good guide to make sure that you don't do that.
You must paint the back side, not the edge, but
вот
the
здесь.
plate.
Yes. Yeah.
Потому что здесь вы будете работать, краска сразу сотрется, да? Зато будет видно вот красный цвет, где надо еще снять, да? Вот. На самом деле.
And when you sand,
When you
remove-
red is disappear, the red paint will disappear from the front side of thickness of the frame. It will be enough. You must paint only the front part with red, not back. The back
yeah,
is your control
this
point.
side. This
Yes.
side is control
Yes.
point. This side.
Да, yes.
This side, remove.
When it will disappear,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
will be enough.
And
But not contact the back side.
yeah,
The back side is taboo.
not touch.
It is your control.
The back edge
point.
is the control point. And when you remove the wood, this wood is removed in a curve, not in a straight line.
Of course, not on a straight.
Because remember, the ship is curving that way. It's not going down like that, otherwise we'll get a series of jagged sections.
Then when you have the molded surface of the external part, you can divide every frame, and with the help of nail, with the help of pencil, make the same thickness of internal part of frame and escape from additional material too. У тебя не осталось никакого шпангоута, чтобы показать, как можно молковать внутри после того, как мы отмолковали снаружи и вынули шпангоут?
Нет, так вы объясните, что сначала мы обработали все, а потом мы разобрали. Он уже сделан, а вот дальше мы...
After the development of the surface of the external part, we must escape from steps inside the hull.
Inside as well.
И для нас ориентиром будет уже готовая плоскость шпангоута наружная. Вот.
And for the control point for us for escaping from internal part will be the surface of this surface from both sides, front and back. The thickness of this, for example, 10 millimeters, and the thickness from back must be 10 millimeters too. It is possible to approach with the help of this operation. For example, the surface is this one, and inside we must do the surface, the thickness of frame, this one, but we have additional thickness inside, and this is for barbecue.
Вот. Вот если он готовый будет, вот потом мы рисуем, так сказать, и ориентируем.
Imagine, it is a wood.
Да.
With the help of your finger and with the help of the pencil, we make the parallel line. From this part, turn, and from this part.
Не обязательно здесь на другой стороне, скажите, мы же там.
But it does not necessary to escape from additional thickness inside the hull, because the hull will be closed.
Will be closed.
And nobody will know how construct the hull inside, with the steps or without.
Вот сейчас мы посмотрим внутрь.
Inside.
Вот.
When the surface, the external surface is ready, it is possible to escape from additional material inside in order to escape from additional weight of the construction.
Вот, я показываю. Вот, да? Вот.
It is for barbecue.
So this is very thin, but still strong.
Yes.
Strong.
Ну,
Not so strong. It is possible to break up, even the child.
Да. И вот дальше, вот эти мы, вот видите, я здесь специально я оставляю
This is the fifth frame. Every fifth frame.
Every fifth.
So every fifth frame you can see has more of a body to it inside.
Подводную часть.
Because that's going to be joined to that strong keelson.
Only under the gun deck.
Under the gun deck.
Yes.
Under the gun deck. That line was under the gun deck.
Вот сейчас я покажу дальше.
And all other frames very thin. What thickness here? Doesn't
вот,
that...
видите, а теперь вот после этого.
Under the gun deck, even the small frames are not escaping from additional materials.
Вот после этого, когда мы их обрезали, скажите, вот начинается окончательная сборка. То есть мы теперь приклеиваем каждый шпангоут друг другу и прошиваем его нагелями, если позволяет толщина. Вот.
Only when we escaped from internal material, before planking from outside and inside every frame, we escaped only from the material which are before gun deck. After gun deck it does not matter.
Okay. So below the gun deck the wood is thicker.
Yes, thicker.
Above the gun deck the wood has been removed
Very thin.
and it's very thin. And it's very thin.
Because it is according with the cuts of the frames. We have a great number of frames.
Yeah.
On the Jambodrio
so
drawings.
this thickness up here, the thickness of each
the
frame.
thickness of top timbers.
Thickness
is
of the
very
top
thin.
timbers.
In our case it is 5 millimeters only. But multiply 5 into the scale 48 and it will be 20
very
centimeters.
Thick, yeah.
But in our scale it is 5 millimeters.
It's 5, okay.
And you must work very accurate with this thin with this thin part of top timber because it is very fragile.
Вот. Не сборка, да? После
Then gather it together. Gather together. Understand?
Yeah, yeah.
To collect it together.
Yeah.
Ты вы скажите, что теперь их очень легко собирать, поскольку они идеально подходят друг к другу. Мы же их пакетом подбирали.
We did not escape from this control plank.
Yeah.
And it is very easy now to collect it together. Because they are returned back to their own place without any changing of dimensions.
Yeah. Yeah. And this control plank, you must make 100 of those, one for each frame.
Yes, one for each frame.
One for each frame. And they have measurements on them?
No.
Нет, это использованные линейки. Это
We used,
использованный
we
материал.
used the wooden, я не знаю, как по-ихнему линейка. Oh. We have acquired a great number of
Oh!
Да.
and use them.
Это материал на выброс, это из чего?
So you buy
For children at school.
for children's school.
Да.
That's just a little
Yes.
ruler.
Yes, divided into two parts
And what is the purpose of this? To have the same
to have the same
distance for each frame.
according with the drawing. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
То есть вот склеили, да, вот когда, то есть клей и нагели, ну, зубочистки, да, то есть мы собрали. И дальше получим, вот видите, идет сборка. Обратите внимание, показано, что здесь вот прищепки пока стоят, здесь уже клеем промазано
Pay
всё.
attention. You used the clips when you glued together the neighbor.
А вот эти еще не склеены, видите, вот здесь вот щелька
Yes.
специально сделана, чтобы вынимать можно было и следующий потом приклеивать, понимаете?
There is a hole between not glued together frames, one after another, beginning from the middle. We collect
From middle,
them
from
together.
glue, with glue.
Да,
Yes.
да,
With glue.
да, вот. Вот и идем дальше, вот идет сборка, вот дальше идет, вот здесь клей видно уже, да? Вот.
In the direction of the bow, in the direction of the stern,
Да,
from the middle.
From the middle.
вот.
So they're glued.
И вот, смотрите, мы склеили.
Look, all the frames are glued together.
Oh.
It is the starboard side.
And the big reinforcing plank. Do you use bolts as well?
Yes.
Bolts. Metal,
Yes.
metal.
Вот. Скажите, так удобно работать с половинками, потому что нам теперь надо будет шлифовать внутреннюю часть.
It is
и
very
размотку.
convenient, very comfortable to operate with the half of the hull. Because now we
Open.
can
Open.
operate with the chisels inside
Да.
without symmetrical part. And we can approach the necessary thickness of top timbers very easy in very difficult places.
Да.
And this is still 3 centimeters.
Это вот здесь уже, обратите внимание, планок нет, уже обрезано. После того, как склеено,
The
можно
control
обрезать.
planks here
Да.
are escaped from because
Yes.
now they are
But
not necessary.
height of frame is still 3 centimeters.
Yes, 3 centimeters additional are surviving
Срезано
still.
уже. Эта кромка впоследствии, нам очень важно, чтобы она была полностью соответствовала чертежу, она будет ориентиром для внутренней разметки. На самом деле. да?
Later, when we disappeared from additional thickness of every top timbers, we must escape from this additional 3 centimeters, and this surface, after cutting them away, will be our orienteer for additional works with theoretical points. For example, where must be the gun port? We use the drawing and we use the same control list of paper and make the measurements.
Да. Вот. Просто я покажу, вот он показан, да, вот собран. Болт, да, вот.
Bolt, metal.
Wood nails.
Wood nails.
Wood nails.
And what he's used metal bolts to reinforce that, and he's also used what are they called? Not nails. They're called what are they called? Ivan?
Rivets?
Yeah, rivets. Oh, they've got a name. I've just got a mental blank at the moment. I know what they are. Basically, the thicker nails through the wood to reinforce it as well. And I think every 5th plank has got 2 of those in the keelson. Yeah. Basically those. Very strong then, very strong. And no keel, nothing.
No.
So no keel has been laid at all. I was speaking to him last night at the restaurant, and apparently they don't use a rabbit either. So that's going to be quite interesting to see how he does it. You can zoom in and
Вот, видно, да?
just frame. No keel.
Ой, это получается линия жесткости у всей модели. Вот.
You must know that we have additional keelson for each part of the hull, for left and for right. And when afterwards we fix them with the help of bolts, we have an additional strength of construction. You see, it is left, it is right keelson part.
Yeah.
They must be fixed together with the help of 10 or 20 bolts.
Ooh. Very strong model.
Да.
Yes.
Нет, это очень важно, потому что на больших моделях жесткость модели, вот, она очень важна.
Over time, humidity,
Like
water.
a screw, they are turning like a screw if have no additional strength.
This wood, just take this. This keelson that you use, do you measure? What wood is this? Pine.
Fine.
And you check the wood is straight. You check. Before you use this piece of wood, this wood must be straight.
Oh, absolutely straight, of course.
Absolutely straight. Yeah.
Она же и контрольным элементом при сборке является, да, ведь тоже ведь, да, потому что мы пониже
And
подгоняем.
both these keelsons are the control elements of construction. They are absolutely straight together.
So those keelsons are basically the control. They have to be dead straight. You use one for the right hand side, one for the left hand side, and then the two keelsons are joined together with 6 or 7 metal bolts. So this is going to be a very strong model that's going to last a long time.
И сказать, что эти деревянные гвозди и болты, они же служат для того, чтобы мы при сборке абсолютно было, мы совмещали обе половинки без всяких смещений, да, это тоже контрольные точки. То есть, что имеется в виду, чтобы у нас, когда мы складываем... You can talk, Anthony.
So yeah, you can see the right hand side.
Это винт. Это как гайка сказать, болта.
It is a part of material, and inside there is a special screwing surface.
What is this? Is this the keelson or not?
Yes.
Keelson. Oh, okay. So that's the middle bolt in the keelson. That's going to receive. That's the metal reinforcement to receive the bolt. And you can see it's a piece of And here are the two keelsons joined together. You can see that middle bolt. You can see the still don't remember what it's called. Going through both of them.
Так, дальше. Вот он собрано. Еще вид не отмалковано, то есть еще не снятый. Да, вот такая же получается.
And you can see the inside. Inside is not trimmed.
Вот. Так.
Under the gun deck is not important.
Вот модель собрана, да, на самом деле. Просто половинки сейчас без клея, ее можно разобрать, да?
Now the old left and the right parts are without glue. It is possible to divide them.
Okay, so he still hasn't glued them.
And it is necessary because we must escape from these steps, because this is up there, above the
basically
gun deck.
above the gun deck, you have to smooth out the inside of the ship because that's going to be visible. Below the gun deck, it doesn't matter because that's going to have a deck on it.
Да, вот. Так, это временные, это я показываю просто временные фиксации.
This is temporary fixation.
Да.
Yep.
Да. Вот.
Holding it together.
Сейчас я покажу просто как. Сейчас вот обработанный должен быть здесь. Еще не обработанный, не обработанный.
Not developed internal part.
Сейчас, Сейчас я посмотрю, следующий. Еще не обработанный.
Not developed still.
Подожди, сейчас. Вот уже обработанные.
Developed inside surface above the gun deck.
Okay, so he smoothed out the surface above the gun deck.
И по верхней кромке топ-тимберса наклеены планки, да, для того, чтобы все зафиксировать.
Special planks are glued to the surface of top timbers, to the edge of top timbers, in order to fix
не
them.
было не могло случиться.
So now the 3 centimeters has been.
It is not 3. They has been escaped from.
Okay.
It is the real one.
The real height, according to the plans.
Yes.
Вот.
And we
я могу
fixed
показать.
them together with additional plank, like the rail.
So I don't know if the camera can catch that, but above the frames there's been a piece of wood that's been attached,